database rules are still wide open, which it's still warning us about. So let's at least say, okay, you can only read our data from Firebase if you're logged in as somebody. So let's go to rules here. They're public, so anyone can steal, modify, or delete data in your database. Let's learn more. Okay, sample rules. These rules grant access to a node matching the authenticated user's ID from the Firebase auth token. That seems like overkill. So public is what we've got now, right? So rules, read true, write true, always. And that's what we have. What's default? Okay, so these rules require authentication. They allow full read-write access to authenticated users of your app. So everyone who has access to the app has access to all the data, but you have to at least be a user of the app. So let's just change it to these rules. This seems cool. So now read, instead of being true, is auth not equal null. So that is the string auth not equal null. So I'll type quote auth not equal null. We'll do the same for write. Let's publish these changes, and let's see what happens. I'm still seeing stuff. Cool. Let's sign in as a fake user. So I'm going to sign out, which does call auth.signout, so I think I'm signed out for real. And let's sign in as a fake user. So now I'm in main, but I don't see any data. I don't see my room list. I don't see any messages because that person doesn't have access to my database. So you have to actually be authenticated with Firebase now to see any messages. Well, you will be using it with that one if you log in with that one. It's so
like someone else who logs in with Google.
They'll see all the same data.
Okay.
They won't be able to I mean, we haven't given them an endpoint to change your messages or something, but show what? Oh, the database rules? Yeah. Yep. Here these are, and here is the page from the documentation. I know, by the way, that the notes from last time do have like the sample database rules in them, or they should. Here, I'm going to paste the link to this thing. Remember, I got to this page just by going to database rules and clicking Learn More. Learn More just takes you right to this section of the documentation. So the user sample rules it gave. So this would be like if I only wanted to be able to read. Okay, so have an endpoint that matches my UID. So if, for example, we're not really going to, this is not going to be a long-term thing. We're not really doing this. But just to show you how this works. I could say in chat, my endpoint, sync messages, here we go, sync state. I could say this.props.room.name. I could say this.props.user.uid/room name/messages is where I save all my messages. Let's sign in. Let's write some messages, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the whole thing exploded. Because it's got a, okay, I see. I have props.user here in chat. I think I do. I'm not going to belabor this point for the moment. Yeah, let's just not belabor the point for the moment. But we could lock it down further. It does give us ways to say this user can see this data, this user can only see this data. So we could have things that are actually restricted. You could have private messages, or you could add your own notes or something like that if you wanted to. Something like that. I think we probably don't need that entire user object because that thing was friggin' huge. So how about in app handle auth instead of set state user? Let's I'm going to call this argument OAuth user. So OAuth is the standard that Firebase's authentication schemes are all implementing. So whether you log in with Google or GitHub or something else, they're all using this thing called OAuth, and we don't need to know the details of how that works. But anyway, I just want a different variable name because I want to say const user equals email OAuth user dot email UID OAuth user dot UID display name OAuth user dot display name. I don't need all that stuff being stored there. It's overkill. Sign out, sign back in, make sure everything still works. Yep, cool. My name still shows up and everything. I can still add new things. Yep. Cool. Is that the only thing I've actually changed in here? The rest of that was all database rules, right? Save only a portion of the user object in state.